Well, morning all. It's a beautiful day in Edinburgh today. I think it's the 19th of June, 18th, 19th, day after Father's Day anyway, 19th I think. I'm going to head uptown to centre Edinburgh. I've got a birthday present parcel to collect. So, this is a taxi turning, of course he will indicate. Oh, he is indicating. Well, that's impressive for a taxi. So I'm going to head uptown. Might stop off for a spot of breakfast up there, and then I've got some shopping to do, food shopping. So I thought, I've not had the drift on the helmet for a while, so let's stick the drift on and just take you along for the ride. Obviously if we get stuck in any heavy traffic or anything, or traffic jams, I'll edit bits out so you're not sitting looking at the back of, well, as we are now, grey vans for the next however long this run there and back is. And maybe when I'm up in central Edinburgh I'll just do a wee bit of quick filming, let you see what it's looking like today. I'd imagine Princess Street Gardens would be lovely in the sunshine. Which is more than this road is. What a state. I've been along here for a wee while. Normally I just head straight up Leith Walk, but Leith Walk is still in a hell of a mess with the never-ending tram works. So, oh, there he goes. I'll let the big boys do that. He's got a bit more room for the knee, and I'm not in a hurry. So yeah, Leith Walk is still an absolute disaster area with the tram works. So we're not going up there. I think you can go up now actually. You can't come down, I think you can go up. But it changes every week just about as they add new bits. Tram works are supposed to be finished next year, but I wouldn't hold your breath for that. Oh, let's just work the glass through here quickly. It's a bit naughty, but there we go. This is traffic here. New housing, Merchant Quay, this is called. You can see that. It's basically old industrial land at the... This is where the docks, part of the docks were. It's old industrial land, getting converted to flats everywhere. Most of which are probably out the range of normal Edinburgh people to buy. But hey ho, they call it Merchant Quay, they can probably add another 50,000 onto the price. You can probably just about see the sea. So it's always interesting to film these things, and then years later you can go back and see what it looks like. Well, years, the way they throw houses up these days, it's probably a few weeks later. I've got a very large tractor behind me. Nice to have something slower than me on the roads. Just heading along to the shore now, as you can see. More tram works here. The road is just an absolute disaster area with potholes and things. They don't care because presumably they'll be resurfaced. Right, now, where are we going here? The last time... Jesus. These are the trams, you can see the tram lines. What a mess this is. Rabyburn statue, I don't know if you noticed that. You've also got to be careful because there's loose building debris everywhere. You don't want to skid. That were actually not too bad. these businesses and that in amongst this tram works, it just must be having the most horrendous time. Things aren't bad enough, what with post-COVID and cost of living crisis and most inept British government we've probably had in years, and that's saying something. And yet, and they have to deal with this as well, roads dug up all around them. But that's this is the council's great plan, trams for Edinburgh. It's been going on for years. Nobody wanted it in Edinburgh, but we're stuck with it. Basically, there was a referendum years ago to introduce congestion charging in central Edinburgh, and the people resoundingly voted that out. And the council said, well, sod you then, we'll build a tram system. And the revenge would be years and years of utter chaos. So anyway, we're coming up to the shore here, which is a nice little bit of Edinburgh. Edinburgh's little waterfront area. There you go. Bit of sea. I'm going to carry on along here. I mean, I'm assuming these roads are still open. I've not been along this way for a while. There's a fellow biker. Friendly nods. It's amazing, you get more nods riding the Zoomer than I ever had riding the bigger 125 bikes I had. Crazy. Right, madam, just you let me past here. Thank you. So we're going along this road and we're going to turn up at the end of it and head towards Ferry Road, down Inverleith, then up into centre Edinburgh. Haven't done this for a while. Park up in George Street. I've got to, as I say, collect a birthday present from a shop. I used to work up in Princes Street, as any of my older followers will know. I don't anymore, so it's quite a treat going uptown these days. I used to do it every day. Roads may or may not be shut around here, but I think we're all right to go here. Yep. There's a queue for the bus. Okay, we are going round to the left here. Follow the PCX with the Okay, that's Leith Library. That was a COVID testing centre. I think it's reopening as a library now. Nice old 1930s, I think, building. Okay. So we're now heading along Ferry Road. We're going to carry along here until we get to the turn for Inverleith. And then we'll turn down that. Turn right. That's okay then. I left this till just after 9 o'clock in the morning. Oh, come on, let's get going. Right. Traffic will be a bit quieter. Everyone's at work. This is the Monday, so I'm off on a Monday. It's quite handy because the roads are a bit less congested if you're trying to get about at the weekend on these sort of runs, especially in the nice weather. So the Zoomer is now at 15,873 miles, coming up on 16,000 miles. And still, I'm pleased to say, going strong. Let's let the lorry around, fair enough. I'm toying, and it's sacrilege I know, with possibly looking at selling it on. There's talk of maybe getting a bonus system at work with a decent bonus package, because we've achieved all our goals for the last 6 months, and if that came to pass, I might use it to get a 125 and possibly do my A1 license. Now, I know people say, why bother doing the A1, why not just do your full license? Well, there's a couple of reasons. First of all, I don't want to ride a geared bike. I've never ridden a geared bike. I don't want to ride one. If I was to do a full license, whoa, that was a bit cheeky coming out there. If I was to do a full license, I would really have to learn how to ride a geared bike first, and that's basically going back to scratch almost, and that's going to cost money, because you're going to have to, you know, take lessons, you're going to have to get familiar with it, you're then going to have to do everything, you start from scratch basically, and I don't want to do that. I don't want to ride a geared bike. I'm quite happy riding a scooter, and frankly a 125 scooter will do me fine. It's all I need. I mean, you can get a decent 125, you'll go up to 65, pushing 70, that's all the speed I need. And the A1 license would allow me to ditch the L plates, potentially take a passenger if I ever needed to, and also go on motorways. Not that I'm going to need to do that very often, but you never know. And obviously with the scooter experience I have had riding for many years, then it should be easier to pass an A1, and certainly it would be to go through the whole business of learning a geared bike and then trying to pass your test and all the rest of it on that. So that is why I'm thinking A1. So if I did an A1, I would have to do a CBT. Now I don't know if I would have to do the hazard perception and that sort of test, because I have technically a bike license already. I ride my 50cc Zoomer on an old car license, and in the days when I passed my car test, you were allowed to, you automatically were given moped entitlement. It's called Grandad's rights in Britain. We're just going down Inverleith here. This is nice. Used to live down here as a kid. So yeah, if you pass your car test before a certain time, you get what are known as Grandad's rights, and you're allowed to ride a 50cc bike without a CBT, without L plates, without taking any other kind of test. And that's what I do with the Zoomer. Now, because I would be going up to a 125, I would have to redo the con that is the CBT in this country, which is a basic sort of day's course to make sure you're, whoa, steady madam, make sure you're competent to handle a bike. It's an absolute money-making rip-off. It's not so much that I have to do it, it's the fact that if you are, unless you take your test, you have to repeat it every 2 years, which is a complete rip-off, because, you know, why are you not going to be able to do it 2 years after you could do it? It's just a farce. Anyway, I'd have to redo the CBT, which is okay. I have no problem doing it if it's leading to a test and it was the last time I did it. I may have to do the practical stuff, sorry, not the practical stuff, what do you call it, not written, I don't know what they call it. We're just down here at the bottom here. This is kind of Mills, and at the end here we're going to be turning to the right and head up town. So yeah, CBT I'd have to redo. And possibly the written, well not written, but it's the tests that test your knowledge of road signs and your knowledge of, and you do this hazard perception thing on a computer. I can't remember what it's called. But anyway, now do I have to do that or don't I? I'm not sure. because, as I say, I have a moped licence, and if you have some kind of licence you're supposed to consider having done it, but of course that may not apply to the old moped licence, so that's something I need to find out a bit, but that's not a particular problem. That's just like half an hour with a computer, and as long as you pass that, and frankly there's no excuse for failing it if you do the revision, then that's another part of getting towards the test. But it's all money, you know, it's all costs a lot of money to learn to ride a motorbike in this country. But I am thinking about it. So if I did the CBT, picked up another 125 scooter, had a bit of practice for a few months, got a bit further afield in terms of the sort of riding I'm doing, and that's kind of one of the reasons I'd like to do it as well, is that you know, in the winter the wee Zuma is great, I go back and forward to work, you're not really going distances or anything, but when the summer comes you want to get out about a bit, you want to go and see some countryside. I mean, I can go and visit, I used my old 125s to go and visit my sister down in the Borders, that was nice, and you can't really do that on the Zuma. I mean, you could, but you know, it would be pushing it a bit, and you're on some busy roads as well, which is not the best place to be. So it's just a thought. I would be very, very sorry to lose the Zuma because I love the little bike, but the problem is I don't really have the storage to keep two bikes. I keep my Zuma in that sort of communal bike bay. There's a guy in a car behind me with the loudest exhaust. He probably hates being stuck behind me. So yeah, I keep the Zuma in a communal bike bay. And I don't really have space in it for two bikes, so the Zuma might have to go. And I've already had a couple of people who always say, if you're looking to sell, let me know, I'd be interested in buying, so, you know. I don't think I'd have any trouble selling it. I'd be very sorry to see it go. But anyway, this bonus thing might not materialise anyway, so we'll see if it does. So yeah, could be the last season on the Zuma, who knows. Right, up the centre of Edinburgh is directly ahead. This is George Street, directly ahead there. Well, you can just probably see a statue. I hope this camera's angled right, you won't be able to see anything. We're going to head up there, we're going to turn, where are we going to turn? Actually the shop I'm going to is on the left. I don't know, again, see the festival's coming up in Edinburgh now, it's tourist season starting to get close, and they start closing off these centre roads to put out bars and restaurants and things, which is great. It's a bugger if you're trying to actually live and work in this city. We could turn off to the, might just turn off to the right and start Park Centre, because where I'm going to stop for a bite of breakfast I think, and the place for that is along the other end of George Street from the shop I'm going to. Oh, it's a steep wee hill for the wee Zuma. It's a steep hill. Yeah, so this is central Edinburgh. Princess Street, the main shopping street, is just below this street here. Although it sadly got pretty decimated during the pandemic. A lot of businesses went bust, a lot of shops closed down. There's also a brand new swanky shopping centre just a few hundred yards to the left at the end of the road, and a lot of places moved in there. Personally I don't like it, I'm not a shopping centre fan. Besides which, the way it was designed was to be sort of slightly open air, but then they discovered as soon as it rained that the roofs leaked, such as they were, leaked water everywhere. Wasn't a great look, and it's full of the kind of Ponzi shops that really do you need to shop in these days. Okay, so we're along here, we're just going to find a bike bay now, and we're going to pull in. Solo MCs, that'll do nicely there. And that is part one of the journey. Thanks for coming along. We'll see you for the return trip. I'm parked uptown just to show you security I use. I always have the disc lock on. Not that I've got a disc brake, but it goes through the wheel and stop anyone wheeling it away. Rear chain on the back. And we have alarm as well. So this is East Princess Street Gardens. Not a bad view, is it? Weekend, the grass down there will be full of people. Go round, and here is Princess Street. You can just see the old Jenner's building where I worked for 27 years. Wonderful old shop, once the world's oldest independent department store. Jenner's has been there in one form or another since 1838. Currently closed for a complete refit. It's going to be a hotel, fancy shopping. The building is now owned by the richest man in Scotland. He's spending a fortune on it, so it'll be amazing to see what it looks like. We'll carry on round. There you go. You can see the crane there. That's the esplanade getting built for the tattoo for the Edinburgh Festival up at the castle. Right, let's move on. Also at the east end of Princess Street Gardens is the famous Scott Monument, built in the 19th century to commemorate one of Scotland's greatest writers, Sir Walter Scott, and there he sits in the centre there. Lovely. There's the famous floral clock. This is at the start of the West Princess Street Gardens, laid out this year to celebrate the Queen's Platinum Jubilee. Something different every year. And we move on to West Princess Street Gardens with the castle. And there's the most famous site in Edinburgh, Edinburgh Castle. Princess Street Gardens, beautiful. And up there again is the esplanade getting built for the tattoo, which kicks off in August as part of the Edinburgh Festival. Straight ahead beneath the castle is the Ross Bandstand. A couple of miles from here is Arthur's Seat, which is a large hill in Edinburgh, which was actually hundreds of thousands of years ago an active volcano. And the last time it blew, it threw this huge chunk of rock across space and it landed there. And millennia later, they built the castle on top of it. So that's actually the plug of a volcano that the castle is built on. So this amazing fountain is at the west of the gardens, sits underneath the castle. This was all restored a few years ago, fully working now. Amazing bit of work. And here's the rest of the gardens. Very quiet as it's a Monday morning. Busy here at the weekend. And this bit here, we have cafes, children's play park. Okay, Princess Street Gardens. Time to find some breakfast now. So this is George Street, runs parallel to Princess Street. Lots of nice little boutique shops here. It's really become Edinburgh's main shopping street now, after the sort of sad post-COVID demise of Princess Street at the moment. And here we have the Alexander Graham Bell, where we're going to try and get some breakfast. Okay guys, breakfast. Genuine Lurpak, not a bad spread, unlimited coffee refills, £8.49. Not too shabby. Okay, so filled up with several thousand calories. We're now going to head, dodge this bus here. Now going to head back towards Easter Road because I've got to pick up some food shopping. Head along George Street. We're going to do a run round this roundabout here. Always a wee bit tricky on a bike as small as the Zoomer, but keep getting these in, look where you want to go, and round we go beautifully. Hey, happy days! Well, go, go. You're pushing out anyway, you might as well go. You're looking at something else. Fine, missed your chance. So, I don't even, it's a while since I've been along. Oh, it's people pulling out to park. That's what's stopping everything. Right, back along to the end of George Street, at the end turning left. We're going to head down onto York Place and risk the chaos at the top of Leith Walk, just to give you a wee idea of what it's like with the tram works at the top of Leith. It's not fun. There's St Andrew's Square there ahead. Have some open air cinemas in there during the year. Nice place to sit in the centre of town. It was funny doing this route again because I used to do this every day in my old job. Haven't done it for a while. And off we go. Still a beautiful day, it's supposed to be like this most of the week, I think. Watch for the potholes. Now this is where it could get a bit slow. At the end of here is where the tram works are continuing. And you see all the cars in that right lane there should be turning right. You can guarantee a few of them have skipped along there hoping to dodge the traffic. They're now going to push their way back in. There, just coming along on the left, the right, sorry, is one of our famous trams. The system has so far cost over £1 billion. It's unlikely to ever make that back. It's caused chaos in the city for years. Oh, there's the one going the other way. They go from this point here, just along here, out to the airport. There's a perfectly good bus service that does the same thing. In fact, usually if I go to the airport I get the bus because it's more reliable. And they're now extending the tram works down Leith Walk to New Haven. And that's taking years as well and causing chaos. There is an inquiry into why the tram works have cost £1 billion and how the money has been wasted. And apparently that inquiry has already cost £1 million. So that's a good way to spend Edinburgh taxpayers' money. The trams are, to say the least, highly contentious. The Leith extension, as I say, is due to be finished in, I think it's 2023. God help us if the council decide to come up with another one. Somewhere else they want to take it. Try and get out of the way and let this ambulance through. Going through there. This again is an example of the tram chaos. Fire engines, ambulances, all toiling to get anywhere. It's crazy times. And there's a taxi parked in the bus lane, which doesn't help. I'm going to edit bits of this out because you're stuck here for several minutes and I'm sure you don't want to spend the time looking at the back of this van. Over here you can just about see at the very top of Leith Walk where the playhouse is, the mess. It's there at the moment, it's all roadworks, it's all chaos. And here's sirens somewhere else now, where are they coming from? Right, so we're through at the top here. Oh, don't stop on the yellow box, it's a bit naughty. No. So there you can see John Lewis, St Mary's Cathedral, and all the mess that's going on in the middle here. Now there's people parked right across the yellow box. This is mad. This is why I don't come up this way very often. I only come in this way really to let you have a look and see what the tram works are like. There's somebody on one of those scooters, that's completely illegal in this country, but nobody does anything but that. Now we're on to Leith Walk. An ambulance coming round, it's not going to get anywhere. You can see outside the playhouse it's all dug up. And this basically goes all the way down to the foot of Leith Walk, which is about, what, a mile. I'm going to let this ambulance go, obviously. Now there could be somebody's life in danger and the ambulance can't move. It's absolutely mad. Now, you've got to be careful here as well because the road is terrible. And alas, we're away from that. Okay, so at the end here we're turning left down Easter Road. We're going to do a bit of shopping. Okay, so further down here I'm going to park up, pop into Lidl and get some shopping, and I think I shall bring the video to an end shortly. You don't need to see me go from there back home again. You've seen that plenty of times, I think, if you've watched any of my previous videos. It's just a short 5-minute hop. I've not got my saddlebags with me because I don't need much in the way of shopping today. Just a quick few things to throw in the back. So that's it. Hope you enjoyed some sights and sounds of Edinburgh on a warm Monday morning, and as always, thanks for coming along. And if I do decide to change bikes or do any more Zoomer stuff, I will post it here, and your encouragement and enthusiasm is always much appreciated. So that's it, guys. I'll sign off here. Thanks as always, all the best, ride safe, and I shall speak to you soon.